So let's start working with the mouse to create our drag and drop shopping cart example. And you see how that works here. There is a div with the ID target div, which will display text retrieved from the server. There's the television div and the target, that is the shopping cart div. The television div is styled this way, as you see, and it has left, top, and width and so forth sized so that you can see actually the television div on the screen. And the target div is similarly sized as well with the text shopping cart, and this contains this text television. And when the user moves the mouse and clicks or presses the mouse button over the television, the on mouse down JavaScript event attribute is executed, and that calls the handle down JavaScript function, passing it the current event object. The event object is only passed in Netscape brand browsers, including Firefox. In Microsoft Internet Explorer, you're going to have to catch the window.event object, as you're going to see in a second. Let's take a look briefly at the handle down function. Here's the handle down function. The problem is that the way you handle the mouse in JavaScript differs by browser so much that it's essentially you standardize that work. So the first step is we're going to, in the handle down function, is going to standardize the mouse by creating a new mouse event object. We're going to create this mouse event object. This will allow us to standardize the way we work with the mouse across browsers, because different browsers have different properties, as you're going to see in a second. So the first issue is to standardize the way you handle the mouse by passing the event object, if there was one passed to you, to the mouse event object. And you're going to create a mouse event object. So here is the mouse event object, this function, and it is passed the current event object if there is one. And what we're going to do is we're going to standardize create a set of standard properties for the mouse event object and across browsers, so we'll be able to write the rest of our code independent of browser. So if there was an event object, then this.e, that means that the mouse event property E is set to the event object. The event object only exists in Netscape Navigator and Firefox. Otherwise, the property, the mouse event object's property named E, which holds the event, is going to be the window.event object from Internet Explorer. So that creates an object of type mouse event and adds a property named E to it, which holds the mouse event. Okay, that's standardized across browsers. Next, we're going to actually set the X coordinate at which the mouse went down or went up, and you're going to check the page X property. That's what you use in the Netscape brand of browsers, and if that exists, then you're going to set the X value of this object, the mouse event object, to page X property. Otherwise, if you're using Internet Explorer, use the client X property. So once again, this is going to save us a lot of time by standardizing the properties of where the mouse went down or went up. The X coordinate is going to be stored in the mouse event object's X property. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you can use page X or client X depending on the browser. Same thing for page Y, the Y coordinate of the mouse event. This is going to be stored in the mouse event object's Y coordinate. And you use page Y if you're working with the Netscape brand of browsers, including Firefox, and client Y for Microsoft Internet Explorer. So now we've set, for the mouse event object, we've set the E property holding the event object itself that caused the event. The X property holds the X location at which the mouse went down or went up. The Y property holds the Y location, Y coordinate, which the mouse went down or went up. Finally, we're going to also store the target. The target is the HTML element in which the mouse went down. So if it is the television, for example, then if you press the mouse button over the television, then the target will be the television div, for example. This will be like this. So in the Netscape browsers use the target property of the event object, and in Internet Explorer use the source element property. So this adds a target property to the mouse event object we're creating to standardize where you work with a mouse. So now you have four properties. The event object, the event property E holds the event object itself that holds all the event information. X property holds the X location of the mouse. The Y property holds the Y location of the mouse. And the target property holds the target HTML element that is the target of the mouse action. So it could be the television, it could be the page itself, it could be the shopping cart, and so forth. So there you have, we're standardizing how you handle the mouse with these four properties. Next we're going to get to actually supporting dragging and dropping using the mouse.